Hey, what's up? This is Nicholas from Mixdown Magazine here with Bill Kelliher from Mastodon. We're just talking guitars. Recently switched to ESP. Well, not so recently. Recent enough, I guess.
Few years now.
Few years now. Two signature models.
Yes, an Eclipse, the BK600,
Yeah.
and the Sparrowhawk,
Yeah.
which was of my own design, and both have pickups that I designed with lace pickups.
Yeah.
The ESP, the BK600 has the divinators.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, not the dissonant aggressors,
Okay.
and the Sparrowhawk has the divinators, which are the newer pickups I designed.
Now, you come from, I know you're a big classic rock fan.
Sure.
Where does your inspiration as far as for guitar wise, what were your formative players that kind of piqued your interest?
Well, I think the very first band that I saw and decided wow, I want to be a rock star. I want to be on stage playing music was Eddie Van Halen.
Oh yeah.
When I saw Van Halen, and it was 1985, 1986, something like that.
Okay.
Aerosmith was my very first concert.
Joe Perry, yeah.
Yeah, I was very into Aerosmith, but I couldn't always play that kind of stuff. My dad got me a record by U2, War, when I was a kid, and I was really. That was when they were really weird. That was fucking weird shit.
It's an interesting record. That record, yeah.
Yeah, and I was this is really cool, and I enjoyed the. My after I got a guitar when I was 15, my next request from my parents was I need a delay pedal. I need a distortion pedal and delay pedal.
Yeah.
So I wanted to play like the Edge, and that's when they, that was really strange music at the time because everybody was, all I heard, I lived out in the suburbs in Western New York, and all I heard was Boston and Van Halen.
Oh, yeah,
and,
okay.
The shit that's on the radio, Sammy Hagar or whatever. I was just oh, okay, this is music. And then I heard punk rock, and I was wow, now this is music that this means, anyone can play guitar.
Sure.
Anyone can be a musician. And that totally changed my life. So I really followed that for many, many years, and that was the formative years of my guitar playing.
Okay.
Because I was I'm not going to be a Randy Rhoads. I can't play like that guy. He's insane.
Sure.
Eddie Van Halen's
Mr. Two-Hand Tapping.
It's insane. So I was I'm going to do my own thing.
Yeah.
I don't have to all my guy friends played guitar. All of us were guitar players. They were all sitting in their rooms learning scales and playing guitar solos and using finger tapping and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I just got kind of bored of it. I was I want to start my own band. So as soon as I got my own guitar, I just started a band and never looked back.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So, with that in mind, you guys Mastodon. We're at album 7 now, right?
7 or 8. Yeah.
Yeah.
Depends on how you look at it.
So many. I suppose Call of the Mastodon would make 8. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, thinking about that, so many bands that came up around the time that you guys kind of jumped in with Remission and Leviathan, kind of Relapse was popping. There was a lot of bands that were coming up through their era. A lot of bands have faded away. What has kept Mastodon kind of chugging along throughout this whole period?
Well, I just feel we didn't start Mastodon until I was 29, 30 years old. You know what I mean? So it was this is kind of it, and we just knew that we had something really special, and people keep coming to our shows, so we just continue as a band. You know what I mean? It's just we kind of had a saying in the band in the early days, no one's going to quit this band until we all quit. Okay. And that was just kind of our motto, I guess. I don't know if that's really still true, but it kept us going for a long time, and we're still here 18 years later.
So with album 7 or 8, how do you avoid hitting the creative wall? How do you guys, is the writing process still very collaborative, or is it still is it
kind of more individual? I believe now. I mean, it all depends on which song it is and which album it is, but all of us are so busy as people, I mean, I feel it's hard to hey, let's just go kick around some ideas. It's more I feel the most the most the best way to write a song or a piece of music or record is for me to like get as much out of myself as I can to a point where I'm like, all right, I feel like I've got some skeletons for songs, and I'll like record it all in my Pro Tools, and I'll do all the overdubs and harmonies and stuff like that, and then I'll bring it to the other guys and say, okay, I feel like this is kind of something.
Okay.
And then
they can put their flavor on it.
Yeah, because I'm not really like a jam guy where I'm just like, I mean, sometimes it all depends. Sometimes we'll just be jamming and it's like, oh, that's a cool riff. What's that? And
yeah.
But for me, I feel I'm more shy. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I'm not the show-off guy who sit there playing guitar solos. I like to sit in my hotel room and like concentrate on arrangement, writing stuff, and really practicing it until I feel like it's good enough to show someone else.
It's funny because it's like, I'm like that. I'm very like routine. I'm very like, I'll write the skeleton of a song or whatever like that. And I've never understood people who are like, hey, let's just put 4 of us in a room and jam. Like, let's see what happens or something akin to that.
And a lot of times that's where these like super groups go wrong. You know what I mean? They all get together in a room and they try to write some stuff and it doesn't sound good. You got great personalities and great musicians in the room, but you need for me, it's all about time and spontaneity. You know, and
a
lot of times, you know, I feel very comfortable when Braun and I write together because we both have a lot of patience for each other, and we've known each other the longest, and we can critique each other without like getting pissed off. You know, you can't do that with everybody. Some people write something and they're just like totally like, no, that's the riff, that's how it goes, and they're like, yeah,
there's no prize to it. Like
sometimes, you know, we all have different views on like how a song should sound, so we have to. That's the hard part, you know. That's when everyone's writing together. So I feel like it's more conducive when I'll write a piece and then Braun will jump in with the drums, and then we kind of shape it to where we feel like, let's bring it to the other guys. And then we put some vocals down, and where we get it almost like where it's done, and then it's like, oh, well, that sounds good. That sounds cool. All right.
And there's never any talk of like, that's not Mastodon enough or anything like that, because obviously at this point Mastodon has such a breadth, like a wide reach as far as its sound. It can't necessarily be
that doesn't ever
pigeonholed.
come up really anymore because nothing's really Mastodon until everyone plays on it.
Okay.
You know, we have to have everybody there. You know, Brent's guitar solos and Troy's vocals,
and that's when it becomes Mastodon.
Yeah, no matter what it is, you know. But I feel like we're really lucky that way because we can kind of write in any style we want. There's no like limits really. And by style, I mean it's a heavy style, but I feel like there's never been a bunch of songs we just never put out because we're like, it's not too Mastodon. I mean, it's not Mastodon enough. It's just kind of like, that's just another side of us.
I mean, and that's the thing. And so the wider breadth of it, because obviously there's certain things that necessarily, I don't know if they lend themselves to a heavier scene of music. I know like Brent does a lot of like chicken picking and slide guitar and stuff like that, and it's not very like commonplace in a lot of like the metal realm or whatever like that. But it certainly sounds like a characteristic of Mastodon to have those kind of playing styles.
Yeah, of course.
So I think it's funny that your sound has only expanded, and that now it's like it's not a question of that's not Mastodon.
Yeah, I mean we just keep pushing it, you know, and just trying to do whatever we're feeling for the song. You know, it's not a conscious like, all right, I want to write a real heavy song. It's just kind of like I'll just strum on the guitar and I'm like, oh, I like the way these notes are going together, and then someone else come in and be like, oh, I got this, I might go with that.
Yeah.
A lot of times we kind of write in the same. It just so happened with Emperor Sand. It was like I felt like I was onto something, and I just kept going, and the creative juices wouldn't stop.
Amazing. I mean, it's nice to see that the magic is still there, and the yearn to create is still there.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Awesome, bro.